Show. Be inspired, be empowered. The Anouk Show. Thursday morning on GSSL Radio. Hey.
Welcome to the Anouk Show, where we believe that inspiration is just around the corner. I'm your girl, Anouk, and I'm excited to take you on a journey of self-discovery, motivation, and positive vibes. In a world reaming with challenges and uncertainties, it's vital to seek out moments of inspiration that elevate our spirits and guide us toward our dreams and goals. From stories of triumph over adversity to creative sparks and gentle reminders to practice self-kindness, the Anouk Show is dedicated to inspire, encourage, motivate, and empower. Each week, we will bring you captivating interviews with thought leaders, change makers, and everyday heroes who share their wisdom, experiences, and insights to inspire you to live your best life. Our goal is to focus on your body, mind, and soul. So, grab a cup of your favorite beverage or cozy up in your favorite spot and let's get ready to be inspired. The Anouk Show will start right after a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors.
Are you ready to expand your knowledge and deepen your understanding of theology in a diverse, inclusive manner? Look no further than Peace Multicultural Theological Seminary, also known as PMTS. Open enrollment for 2025 is now available. Embark on an educational journey that celebrates diversity and fosters unity. Register at www.pmts-seminary.com. Don't miss this enriching opportunity at PMTS. For more information, call 888-505-8987.
Are you looking to amplify your brand? Well, look no further. Linked Superpowers is the company for you. Linked Superpowers is a cutting-edge global branding, social media, and PR agency. They help to reshape professional visibility and influence. They've been in business for a decade now, and they are on top of the game with proven results. Reach out to Linked Superpowers at www.linkedsuperpowers.com.
The Anouk Show. Yeah. Anouk Show. Hey, what you say? Anouk Show. Be motivated. Anouk Show. Yeah, yeah. The Anouk Show.
The Anouk Show is not just about inspiration. It's a holistic journey designed to nurture your mind, body, and soul. We aim to provide well-rounded support that fosters mental clarity, physical well-being, and spiritual growth. Through expert insights, wellness tips, and heartfelt stories, we strive to empower you to achieve balance and harmony in all aspects of your life.
It's inspiration time. Come on and renew your mind. Everybody, it's inspiration time with Anouk.
Do you believe that God can and will do it for you? I want to follow up from last week's show where we had Mr. Arville Hall, who is the growth advisor for G Unit, and that is Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's G Unit. And I am grateful that Mr. Arville Hall took time to join the Anouk Show to tell us pieces of his story. And what I want to do is to take time to talk more or amplify that story a little more. So as Orville began to talk, what you'll see in his story is that he had built up so many credentials. He did so many things. He met so many people. He interacted with so many different celebrities, entertainers, athletes. There you have it. He worked as a marketing genius for so many different companies, working with people like Clive Davis, working with like so many superstars. And he ended up losing everything, where he only had his accolades and those 2 bags that he took to Atlanta. So he moved from New York, went to Atlanta, ended up on his brother's sofa. And so it shows you that relationships are key. It's key for that relationship with God. And sometimes it doesn't matter your credentials, your schooling, your skills. It's about being connected to the right person. God is that right person. But during his waiting period, Mr. Orville Hall, he ended up in Shreveport. He saw a great opportunity with his marketing genius. He began to write a plan, his vision, where he could see that Shreveport could be transformed. And so even if you don't live in Shreveport or don't live in the Arculate, I really wanted you to see the profound nature of how God used Mr. Orville Hall, and we'll do the same thing for us. So Mr. Orville Hall wrote his plan. He had a vision and he wrote it down. And then he started socializing that plan. He tried to get it in front of as many people. He finally got it in front of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. He gets it in front of him, and guess what? It was right before the pandemic. Things shut down, so there was this waiting period again. And he worked on this plan for 7 years before he began to see the fruits of his labor. And then last February, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson followed up with Orville Hall, and now things are moving and in motion. But there was this waiting period. Things don't always happen when we want them, but it's always on time. God's timing is perfect. God will never fail us. God will never forsake us. And then when God shows up, he shows up and he blows our mind. So I always believe in those waiting periods, God is up to something. And I know that if I just sit back and trust and believe and have faith in the one master that can't fail, he can do anything but fail. That when he shows up, it's going to blow my mind. So oftentimes when I'm going through, and I go through, I sit back and say, God, I know you are up to something, and God, you're about to do a thing. So I encourage each of you to remember when you're in that waiting period, know that God is right there with you, and he is constructing something that's about to blow your mind. But it is very important of what you do in your waiting period. Remember, you have to do your part. Mr. Orville Hall worked hard and still working hard. He's doing his part, and then God is doing the rest. So I just thought that last week's episode was so inspirational. And we got so many calls, so many text messages and phone calls into the station and into me personally. I thought it would be very important for me to come back to say, there's other Orville Halls out there. There's something that God may be brewing inside of you, that you have that vision, and God will connect you to the right people. So remember, do your part. God will do the rest. And then don't forget to give God his accolades, because if it's all God, it's all good. There was someone when I used to go to church in Oklahoma, Pastor Willie at that church, at Higher Dimensions Church, at Carlton Pearson Church, used to say that if it's all God, it's all good. So we need to remember that if it's all God, it is all good. So you guys, I just wanted to come back and reflect. So again, what are you waiting on God for? What are you trusting God for? Remember, God can do it. And just pray, Lord, do it for me. Like that song says, Lord, do it for me.
The Anouk Show. Yeah. Anouk Hey, Show. What you say? Anouk Show. Be motivated. Anouk Show. Yeah, yeah. The Anouk Show.
Yeah. And now for your body.
8 tips for healthy eating. Number 1, base your meals on high fiber starchy carbohydrates. Number 2, eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Number 3, eat more fish, including a portion of oily fish, and stay away from high starchy red meats. Number 4, cut down on saturated fat and sugar. Number 5, eat less salt, no more than 6 grams a day for adults. Number 6, get active and be at a healthy weight. Number 7, do not get thirsty, stay hydrated. And number 8, do not skip breakfast. How y'all doing out there? This is Body by Billionaire. You can find me on Instagram, any other platforms at Body by Billionaire. That's BILLYONARE. I'm a personal trainer, fitness coach, life coach, and nutritional specialist.
And now for your soul.
Good morning. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6 offers a profound wisdom for navigating life uncertainties. The verse states, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." The call to trust, the first instruction is to trust in the Lord with all your heart. This emphasizes the importance of placing our complete confidence in God. Trusting God means surrendering our worries and fears to Him, recognizing that He is in control. The next part of the verse reminds us not to rely solely on our own understanding. As people, our perspective is limited. We may not always see the full picture. This encourages us to seek God's wisdom and guidance rather than relying on our own insights. Acknowledging God in all our ways, this calls us to integrate faith into every aspect of our lives, our decisions, our relationships, and our daily routines. Finally, the promise that follows is profound. He will make your paths straight. This signifies that when we trust and acknowledge God, He will guide us on the right path. God's guidance leads us to a fulfilled purpose life, free from the burdens of indecisions and doubt. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 through 6 encourages us to trust God wholeheartedly, recognize our limitations, acknowledge Him in every aspect of our lives, and embrace the promise of His guidance. As we apply these principles, we can navigate life's challenges with confidence, knowing that God is actively involved in shaping our lives. This is your inspirational moment by Minister Derek Renter.
Anouk Show. Yeah. Hey, what you say? Anouk Show. Be motivated. Anouk Show. Yeah.
They say laughter is good for the soul, but laughter is also contagious. Today, I not only have Ronald McIntyre, but I also have his brother, Derek McIntyre, and his wife, my sister-in-law, no better sister-in-law in the world, Donna McIntyre. Hello, gang.
Hey,
Hello. How are you all?
we're great. We're great. Good morning to the Anouk Show family. I got to be careful because I have my brother and my sister-in-law on here today. So Anouk's always talking about me confirming these stories. They can confirm all of them are true. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk about a story involving my brother who's here on the show. So it was my college graduation. I graduated from college for the first time, got my bachelor's degree. We were riding back home in my brother Derek, his new car. We were riding in his new car. And I was driving. He had dozed off while I was driving in I should say his new used car. But anyway, a light came on, and it's this light has you guys may be familiar with it. It looked like a teacup with a drip next to it. So I'm like, oh my God, the car needs antifreeze. So I pulled over. We bought some antifreeze. I bought antifreeze. I lifted the hood, and I didn't know where it went, where to put the antifreeze in at the time. But I saw there was a cap that had the same teacup with a drip next to it, and said, oh, it goes here. So I twisted the cap off. I poured the antifreeze in, and we jumped back on the road. And not long after we jumped on the road, the car went out. I later found out the engine went out on the car. And my brother who's here today, he's finding out for the first time what actually happened to his car when we were coming back from my college graduation. Well, what happened was that little teacup I thought was antifreeze, that was actually oil. So I bought antifreeze and poured
Excuse me? Excuse me.
Where the oil goes in. So he's hearing this for the first time. All he knows is engine went. He just thought the car was bad. So he's not aware.
You mean I was a young person with very few dollars, and you mean that's what happened to my only car?
That's what happened to your car. I put antifreeze, and I found out later that's where I was supposed to put oil. So you need oil in the car, and I put antifreeze where the oil went, and that's why we got back on the highway and your engine blew.
Hey, well, first of all, let's back up a little bit. It's a part of the story you didn't mention.
What was that?
You went to pull over. We're on a highway. You went to pull over, and there was no emergency lane.
That's right.
You pulled over. We're halfway in the highway, and probably about 2 feet on the side of the road. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's right.
We're still in the highway.
And the car was halfway on the highway, and he was like, hey, what you doing?
All I needed was like 10 minutes of sleep, let you drive for 10 minutes, and you're about to kill us.
But we did move over, and we got antifreeze. Unfortunately, we needed oil.
Yes, but you rode up against the guardrails, and as long as I own that car, I could not get the damage out of that side of the car from riding against the guardrails.
Well, I remember after you got it fixed and fixed the engine, and I think you replaced the engine, but the problem with that is, riding up against the guardrail, pulling over and not pulling all the way off the highway, and putting antifreeze where the oil went. The problem was I was excited from graduating, and it wasn't my car. So, it wasn't a big deal.
Exactly.
For me.
Exactly. See, the problem was you graduated from college, and I'm the one with the car. So you're driving my car. I think you had a moped back then. You were going home to your moped.
I did have a moped. As my father used to say, I sent you to college and you got dumber.
And driving was never your thing. I don't know if it's still the same situation, but driving was definitely not your first.
It still isn't. As soon as I can afford a driver, I'm going to get one. So that was the story of my brother's car, his new used car. after my graduation. And he, like I said, today he's finding out for the first time what actually happened to his engine.
And so recently you said you put oil in this other car we got. So I need to check that out.
I know the oil goes.
Oh my God.
I know where to put oil in my car. It was not my car. I wasn't that
Oh my.
The Anouk Show. Yeah. Hey, what you say? Be motivated. Anouk Show. Yeah, yeah. Anouk Show.
Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Check out www.linkedsuperpowers.com and let them take your brand to the next level. www.linkedsuperpowers.com.
If you want to be entertained, pick up your copy of the book Never a Dull Moment by Ronald Eric McIntyre. Available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.
It's inspiration time. Come on and renew your mind. Everybody, it's inspiration time with Anouk.
We all have dreams and visions we feel are placed in our hearts. But how often do we find ourselves asking, why isn't it happening yet? Here's the truth. Waiting can be hard, but God's timing is always perfect. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, we read, "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven." This verse reminds us that every part of our journey serves as a purpose, even the moments of waiting. But what we do while we wait, a vital step is to write out our visions and make them plain. In the Bible, the Lord tells us to write the vision, make it plain on tablets so he may run who reads it. Writing down our goals and dreams not only clarifies our thoughts, but also helps us to remain focused and hopeful. When you put pen to paper, you're engaging with the plans God has placed in your heart. It solidifies the vision and allows you to revisit it, track your progress, and remind yourself of what you're working towards. Now, I want to remind you that waiting doesn't mean inactivity. Trusting God while you wait means taking steps of faith. Psalms 27:14 encourages us with these words, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord." This is an invitation to grow in faith during the waiting, not just to pass the time, but to actively cultivate patience, resilience, and trust in His divine plan. So, dear listeners, remember, God's timing is impeccable. Write your vision, trust in Him, and be assured that He's working behind the scenes. Whatever season you find yourself right now, hold on to the promise that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. That's in Philippians. I'm very old school, so even though I've worked for a technology company and even though I do know technology, I'm still old school where I use notebooks, tablets, pen and paper to write things out, like even my to-do list, and then to kind of check things off. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. And again, you don't have to use, the pen and paper. You can just use, your laptop, your phones, your smart devices, what have you. I was talking to my son because oftentimes you could be doing so much, but sometimes you could feel like, oh, what I'm doing is not working or it's taking a long time to manifest. But sometimes you forget all of the progress you are making. But if you take time to write down your plan, and then you write down your milestones or your goals or the activities or steps or tasks that you need to do to get there. And then you also, have a project plan for your life, a project plan for things you need to do, and write out those tasks with target dates, and then continue to check things off and have specific, goals. So it's amazing. And then when you go back, you have a sense of accomplishment. You have something to be proud of. And then it keeps you going to say, oh, I did this. Now I can go to the next phase. And if I know I did this, I know I can do that. And so I've been trying to work with my son to get into this rhythm. And it seems as though the activity that we started here a few weeks ago, and then I'm actually doing checkpoints where I meet back with him to say, see how things are going, how things are progressing. And, sometimes you may write something down and it doesn't work and you can't get it done within that time frame. And then you have to, be flexible and adjust and, just keep going and just don't stop, and to figure out what's working, what's not working, so that you know how to adjust. So I'm encouraging all the listeners that, as it is in the Bible, write it down, make it plain. It really does work. And so I just had to share that personal story of something that, I'm working on, with my son. And it seems to be working. He may say otherwise, but I do think that after the first week of some of the goals that he had, when he was reporting back, I could hear the excitement in his voice, even if he won't admit it. Sometimes you can tell things by, the tone, or if you're looking at him, the body language. So I was able to hear it in the tone of his voice. So that made me pretty excited. So I challenge you. What are you going to write down? What's your goals? What's your plans? Let's get them documented so that we can go get them done, and we can come back and reflect on the goodness of God and all that He's continuing to do, and all the things that we know He's going to continue to do in our lives.
All right. I pray that you've been inspired.
Protect your peace. Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. He will keep you in perfect peace. Keep your mind stayed on Him.
If you missed last week's episode or any episode of The Anouk Show, just go to my YouTube page, which is Anouk, Anouk, Brumfield, Brumfield, and you get access to all the replays absolutely free. If you enjoy them, please share it with someone else. I really do appreciate you for being part of this Anouk Show family. Thank you. As we wrap up another episode of The Anouk Show, I want to take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey we've embarked on today together. We've explored the vital connection between our mind, body, and soul, learning how to nurture each aspect to live more fully and authentically. In this busy world, we often forget to reconnect with ourselves. But remember, whether you're looking for peace of mind or physical vitality or a deeper connection, the journey doesn't end here. We must be patient and trust that God has something amazing brewing for each of us. Write your vision. Make it plain. Take a moment to articulate your dreams and desires, believing that they are within reach. Trust in God's timing, knowing that He is working behind the scenes on your behalf. No matter how challenging it seems, have faith that He's going to do it for you. Let's continue to embrace the synergy of our mind, body, and soul as we move forward. Together, we're on a path to wholeness and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me today. Until next week, keep your spirits high, trust in the journey, and remember, you're never alone on this beautiful path of life. Be inspired and keep on keeping on.
The Anouk Show. Be inspired, be empowered. The Anouk Show. Thursday morning on GSSL Radio.